Welcome back, everybody, to another deck profile video here with Chris from TCG Elites, bringing you guys another deck profile, and I'm bringing you guys a alternative version of my Vegito deck that I released a while ago. You guys seem to really like that deck, and a few people email me, message me on Twitter and ask if there was a blue-green variant of the deck that I preferred. Blue-green is my favorite color combination. It was with Piccolo Surge, and with him gone, hasn't been a really good leader that kind of fits that role. Now, obviously, Vegito is not a green leader, so we can't take advantage of some of the really strong green cards, but we are blue, and that gives us access to a lot. So this is sort of my take on the blue-green variant of Vegito. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this deck idea. If you guys want to see a blue-yellow variant of this deck, I can always work that out, or even a mono-blue variation of the deck. I can also work on for you guys as well. So with this leader is fantastic. Draws one every time it swings. On your opponent's turn, if one of your blue unisons or a blue battle card is removed from the battle area by a skill, you actually can awaken early by drawing 2. But you also can awaken at 4 life if you just untap 1 and draw 1. But obviously, my goal with this leader is to awaken basically my opponent's turn 1 or turn 2, and then I can stay at a high life with being a 15k leader, and then I can start gaining advantage through resources. On the Awakened side, becomes the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, and this card draws again off of attacks. And then your same ability that you self-awoken with on your Unawakened side, you actually can restand 1 and draw 1. You restand one mono blue energy, and then you draw 1. And then the activate battle is tap 2 blue. Give one of your blue unisons 10k and triple strike for the duration of the battle. So you can give either any of your blue unisons doesn't have a specific energy or a type or anything else like that. So if you have a blue unison, you can give it 10k and triple strike for the battle. So we'll go here into the deck. Some of these cards you may have seen from the other video, my blue-red variant. So some of the stuff hasn't changed. It's going to be the East Kai. We run 3 of. Play it, draw 1, and then if your opponent plays something on your turn at the bottom deck a card, your opponent's going to want to try to remove this because it makes counterplaying very annoying. Even if they remove it, you get to still make them bottom deck a card, and then you get to self-awaken or untap 1, draw 1. And then J. Cole, aka J. Cole, one of my favorite cards. As I'm playing it more, I feel like it's not as good as the Doctor, the uncommon from Universe 6 that kind of does the same thing. It's a 1-drop blocker that restands an energy. That one gives you a little more resource back. This one's good early, but also it is good late if you can play it out, because you can make your opponent reshuffle their deck if you see a card on top of their deck. I've seen secret rares, I've seen really strong arrival cards, and they have to put that stuff, they have to reshuffle their deck again. And engage Revenge. Revenge is actually pretty good against unisons because it does remove a marker. That's how the keyword says the card that's attacking is KO'd. And since unison cards cannot technically be KO'd, well, they can be KO'd, but its variation of being KO'd is losing a marker. You can actually, if your opponent tries to go in crazy with a unison, if you have one of these on board, you can use it as a blocker and pop the unison. And helps you self-awaken as well. The other one is Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, 2-drop crit because your leader is a Saiyan. And then when it dies, you draw, and then you add a 2-drop specific unison from your drop area added to your hand. So with your leader ability, if this card's removed, if you're on your Unawakened side, it's basically a draw 3, pick 1 up from the drop, so technically a draw 4. Or it is on your Awakened side, it's a draw 2, untap 1. We run 3 of those. Now we start getting into maybe one different card from the other deck, which is going to be Dispo Sonic Subversion. I didn't run it in the other version of the deck. But this card's really good. It's a 2-drop 15k. When your opponent plays a battle card greater than their energy, you actually can choose it. You put this back in your hand, add a card from your life, and then that card goes back into their hand. Awesome card. So greater than their current energy. So if they play something on turn, it doesn't really matter. There has to be something greater than their current energy. So it has its weak points, but it's really good just to sit there, because also if this card's removed from the battle area by a skill or KO'd, you draw one. So if your opponent removes this, you're going to awaken, you're going to draw one, so it's either a draw 3, or on the other side, you're going to untap 1 and draw 2. So almost the same idea as the Vegeta, but this just has board removal. I mean, this has on-play removal, as Vegeta's a little more offensive. 4 of the Gogeta Unison. When the new Unisons come out, for this deck particularly, I'm probably going to end up running Zeno, or a combination of Zeno and Gogeta. The Gotenks is really good as well, the 4-drop, and I think I may maybe include 1 or 2 of them in the side deck, but Gogeta and Zeno are the 2 that I'm looking about running in this particular deck if I would run blue-green. What this permanent does for Gogeta: if you have a blue Saiyan in play in rest mode, your leader can't take damage from attacks. Has a neutral active main. You choose your leader or a battle card, switch to the rest mode, and then you add a marker to it. So technically it's a +1. And then the active main -2 is really good. You draw 1, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy greater than their current energy cost, ignoring barrier, and bottom deck it. So if they have a big card on board that they got out for cheap, you can draw 1 and bottom deck it. Blue-green stuff for the Android 17s for check lands, for the Android 18s for super combos, 1 Android 21 because you're playing blue-green, so you should run at least 1 of these. It's just a charge. Comes out, and then you can pay 4, drop an energy, KO a battle card, and then choose one of your opponent's life and burn it to the drop area. So very strong there. And then 3 Son Goku Gohan arrivals. This card can choose any of your opponent's battle cards 5 or less, place it in the owner's energy, and then they drop a card. Makes this just very, very good for clearing off really strong double strikers or even triple strikers that they put on the board, and they maybe put a ton of combos behind it. You have, you can basically, you have 2 energy open, combo an 18, make them bottom deck a card, tap 2, play this out, and then you remove that card off the board. 318s. This gives us draw power. 3-drop 20k is really annoying to deal with, so they're going to want to remove this, and it just gives you so much value, because once this card's removed off the board, you're a draw 1 and untap 1, so it's technically a 3 energy, draw 3, untap 1. 3 Abuni, best blue card in the game. I think this card's better than, this is takes my place over Senzu Bean as being the best blue card in the game. I mean, we'll say best blue battle card. How about that? Cannot be KO'd if you have a token on board. When you play this, you play 3 tokens. Activate main, which is probably the best part about it. Your opponent reveals the top card of their deck. If it's a battle card, at the start of your opponent's next turn, you restand a blue energy. So it can be a blue multicolor. So it just gives you some defensive prowess. So this is basically a 3-drop that plays out 4 bodies, 1 being a 20k, 3 being 15k. What's really annoying is if you can get multiple Aboonies on the board at once, being able to play out multiple tokens, and then being able to just restand energy is just disgusting. 3 hits, the new best counterplay battle card in the game, I think. Anything 5 or less goes back to your opponent's hand, and then when you play it, you can choose a battle card 5 or less and return to their hand. So they play out 2 cooler rivals, you can counterplay the 1 and then put the other one back in their hand. Play out Smoke Dragon, they play out the basically anything that's 5 goes back into their hand. 1 Energetic Frenzy Kefla. It's kind of a new addition. So this card here is reduced by 1 for every blue battle card you have on the field. And so this can go down to a 3-drop specific blue. When this card hits the field, you can only have 1 of them in play. But activate main once per turn, draw 2, and then at the start of your opponent's main phase, you untap 2 blue energy. So the combination of this and this, you're able to restand 3 blue energy every turn. It's almost like you're playing the Super Saiyan 3 leader, the reboot leader. it's not. I only run it as a 1 because it's sort of just an extra energy. I mean, just sort of an extra resource builder. If I have a giant board for against a certain team of cards. The problem with this card is that it has no defensive stats, so no deflect, no barrier. It is a 25k, so it is kind of hard to remove. But if they have something that just KOs a card, or it can be popped pretty quickly. That's why we only run 1 of them. So it's just sort of an extra thought of a card. So it's like, hey, we have 4 battle cards on the board. I'm gonna play this out for 3. It just kind of allows you to draw and gives you some more energy back. One of the game enders is the Ultra Instinct Sign Son Goku. This evolves on top of the 5-drop Arrival that we play. Since this is a blue Goku, we play it out for 2, discard 1 card from our hand, and then when this card hits the board, your opponent has to return all their battle cards to their hand. So this actually gets around barrier because it's not choosing, it just says return everything. So this is before barrier was a huge thing, I think, in the game. But basically you play it down, a 35k triple strike, and your opponent cannot combo during this card's attack phase. So if your opponent can't negate, they're eating 35k triple strike to the face. Also, this is a blue Saiyan, so if we have a Vegito on board, opponent has to remove this before they can actually deal damage to us. And if this card's removed from the field, counts for our auto for our leader. 1 Barrier of Hope, because it's just nice to have. If we can't remove something, let's say they have a small barrier card on board that's causing us problems, like a Super Saiyan Blue and Inspired Technique Vegeta, we can use this to return it to its hand. It also allows us to draw 2 cards, and it also has a 5k combo in our hand if we absolutely need it. 4D Magic. Since we are playing a blue leader, we get to play this, restand 2 energy. Only 2 Senzu Bean. I feel like as I'm playing this deck more, I don't think Senzu Bean's absolutely needed. It's a really good card, but I think as blue is starting to get more cards that just untap energy, I don't think this is needed as much. It's sort of just as a safety net. I could just include 2 more because this deck only runs 52, 53 cards. I can always just add 2, but it feels kind of bad sometimes having so many beans in your hand because you would rather have something else sometimes. So just 2 different measures. I took one of the Senzu Beans out for one of these just because I cut it down to 1 in this deck, and as I was testing it, I realized that I just need to have it at 2. Opponent plays a battle card 2 or less, return to its hand instead, and then you can return one of your battle cards 3 or less to your hand for 1 energy. So if they play a Topo, they play a Kakunsa, you basically just bounce it back to their hand. The skill portion of it does not go off, and then you can return something to your hand. This is my favorite target for it, since it is a 3 or less. Also, I think the other one would be probably one of the 1-drops like this. You have this or this. These are all the different targets you have of being able to put something back into your hand. The Android 18 seems to be the best one because I can put it back into my hand and play it out next turn, and then just draw 2 more. But we run 2 of those. 2 Ultra Instinct Goku Kamehamehas. Awesome blue card. For 1 energy, gain 15k power, and if it's on your turn, you draw a card, and if it's on your opponent's turn, you basically restand. This card's way better offensively than it is defensively for me. Just because our deck untaps so much energy anyways. But with this, I can, if I'm pushing for game, I can just play out one of these, draw a card, gain 15k. If I have another one, do the same thing. So it's 60k, drawing 2 cards for 2 energy. That's a really, really strong offensive play. Really hard to deal with. And then our boss monster is Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Since we are playing blue and green, it's mainly blue, since we charge more blue. When this card hits the field, if it's on your turn, this card gets double strike, crit, and triple attack. Now when you play this card, you need to say which one you're doing. You have to say which one you're doing. I've never been rule shocked for it, but it has the same sort of wording as something like the double strike Kai, where you have to choose a card. So you have to choose one of these. If it's your turn, you choose this, so it gains triple strike, crit, and triple attack. It's your opponent's turn, which is really good to use it as. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, put in the drop, and then you get to restand 2 energy. which it actually comes into play defensively, I feel like, for me, more. It's really good offensively, obviously, as well, but if you can play this card out defensively, you can actually just ruin your opponent's gameplay, because they may have something that's really, really strong on board that they don't want to get rid of. Play this down, pop it, ramp 2, and then next turn you can probably go in for game. But this is my Vegito deck. It's do I like it more than the red-blue? I don't know. I rarely lost with my red-blue deck. I think I won close to 85-90% of the games that I played with it, or the sets, I should say. With this one, I think I've maybe lost once with it so far. It's hand destruction is something that this deck is equipped to deal with pretty well with all the drawing potential. You just have to get to that point, and you have to be able to use your counterplays to hit the right cards, so then you don't end up getting tapped out, which seems to be my problem with this deck. If I don't counterplay the right thing, it can end up biting me in the butt. No changes I would make to it currently with what's out. The main thing would just be adding the different unisons that would be coming out. So that's about it for me here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck profile, and I will see you guys in the next video.